Last class we have completed Gelsemium. Are there any doubts till Gelsemium?
No, ma'am.
Yes. Now we move on to another drug, hyoscyamus. The center of action of this hyoscyamus is also cerebrospinal nervous system. Here, hyoscyamus, when it is given in physiological doses or material doses, it acts as a analgesic, means painkiller. Narcotic produces drowsiness. Mediatric means dilatation of the pupils. Diuretic increases the, what is diuretic? Increases the, tell me, flow of urine. Yes. Vasoconstrictor and anhydrotic. What is anhydrotic? Means here too much means like the sweating will be less. Anhydrotic means. And when it is given in physiological doses, there is, in case of brain, there is violence is seen. Means the hyoscyamus person who is has taken more doses of hyoscyamus in normal doses, not in the potentized doses, then he'll become violent. He'll have the continuous urge of killing someone or harming someone, like that. Loquacious means they'll speak too much. Continuously they'll be speaking too much. It may be on the same topic, or sometimes they'll jump from one topic to the another topic, but they'll be speaking continuous. That is loquacious. Quarrelsome, there will be nothing will be there, but still they'll be quarreling with anyone, and that too with very bad words. Delirium means like they'll not have the coherence in talk, means they're incoherent talk. They don't know what they are speaking, from where to where they are speaking. They don't have the connection of that speech. And restlessness will be there. There'll be illusions. All these comes under the delirium. And next one is insomnia. That is, what is insomnia?
Sleeplessness.
Sleeplessness. Next, this is all symptoms in case of brain. When it comes to the cord, convulsions and paralysis will be there. Eyes, it is a powerful mediatric. In case of ears, there is paralysis of, means paralysis of the auditory nerve, and because of that there will be deafness. Digestive organs, paralysis of all sphincter muscles. And whenever there is paralysis of the sphincter muscles, the intestines, there will be always diarrhea, because the sphincter muscles have become paralyzed, means there will be relaxed, no contraction of the sphincter muscles in the stomach or duodenum or intestines. That's why there will be involuntary diarrhea. The patient cannot hold the stools because there is paralysis of the sphincter muscles. Why? Because this hyoscyamus is acting on the cerebronervous system, and it is controlling the all the smooth muscles and sphincter muscles also. And when you come to the urinary organs, it causes diuresis and sphincter paralysis, means all over the body there is paralysis of the smooth muscles and the sphincter muscles. Because of that same reason, here there is diuresis. When we go to the circulation is slowed with increased blood pressure. Because why there is increased blood pressure? Because hyoscyamus is acting as a vasoconstrictor. Whenever there is constriction of the muscles of the blood vessels, the pressure will be more in it, because just think it as a tube. Blood vessel is as a tube. When there is more constriction of the walls of a tube, the pressure inside the tube will be increased. The same thing happens in the hyoscyamus, as it is a vasoconstrictor. Because of that, there will be increased in the blood pressure. And why the circulation is slowed here? Because the sphincters are not working. Because in veins there will be valves, right? Okay, here the walls also does not work, and diuresis is there, involuntary diarrhea is there. What happens? There is loss of fluids from the body. That's why what happens, the circulation becomes slow, because there is loss of fluids from diuresis and involuntary diarrhea. Temperature may be increased or diminished, either any case may happen here. If it is more of diuresis and involuntary diarrhea, the temperature may be diminished. Sometimes if there is more of vasoconstriction, then the temperature, or it may have more of convulsions, then there is a chance of temperature increase. Okay, that is hyoscyamus. This is the pathophysiological action or pharmacological action of the hyoscyamus. This is hyoscyamus plant. Next one is your lachesis. Here the lachesis also acts on the cerebrospinal nervous system. In brain, it causes congestion. Congestion we all already spoke. There may be abnormal accumulation of the blood or fluids in the body. Next, coma. Sensory life is destroyed because there is congestion is there. More amount of blood has come. The senses will come. What happens? The senses will be low because their action will not be sharp. Because of that, the sensory life will be destroyed, and the spinal cord here, spasms will be there, convulsions will be there, and sudden prostration. Prostration means severe weakness, more than weakness, weakness, exhaustion, prostration, like that. Grade. And it acts on the vagus nerve also. In case of bronchi, it causes the spasm of throat. Okay, because of this reason, usually lachesis patients cannot bear anything around their neck. This is actually, this symptom is not needed for you in pharmacy. It comes in your materia medica. Lachesis patients cannot wear necklaces. They can only wear long chains because they always have the feeling of suffocating if they wear anything around the neck. They cannot wear collar dresses. Okay, why? Because in their pathology or physiological doses, there is always spasm of the throat. That's why in patients needing the lachesis medicine, they'll always have the sensation they cannot bear anything around their neck or around their abdomen. This is the prominent symptoms seen in lachesis patients. But now here we are speaking about the pharmacological action. That's why when you give these doses in moderate doses directly without any potentization, these are the pathological changes that happens in the patient. Okay, now here in stomach it causes emesis. Emesis means vomiting. And in blood there is rapid decomposition, means there may be some like gangrenes. Gangrenes means the tissue will be died because lack of the circulation. That's why decompositions are more in lachesis. Hemorrhage. Hemorrhage is, what is hemorrhage?
Bleeding.
Yes, profuse bleeding. Asthenic fever. Asthenic means acute rapid fevers will be there in lachesis. In case of circulation, it causes vasomotor paralysis, asthenia, and in case of heart, it causes paralysis of the muscle, cardiac muscle. What is asthenia? Asthenia. Asthenia is also like lack of, means severe weakness, especially physical weakness, asthenia. Okay, when it comes to skin, it causes ecchymosis. Ecchymosis means if there is bleeding under the skin. Okay, over the skin there are no cuts and no bleeding outwardly, but there is internal bleeding, and on the skin there will be some discoloration seen because of the internal bleeding. Means below the skin there will be bleeding, and the skin there is discoloration. Sometimes there will be bluish discoloration. Those are called as ecchymosis. Okay, there may be some in the form of spots also all over the body. Okay, next gangrene, death of that tissue because no without any circulation, and hemorrhage, jaundice. And when it comes to glandular system, all the glands are congested and fatty degeneration is seen in glandular system of Lancashire. Organs, there is ovary atony. Atony means the muscle is not working, and delayed and scanty menses. And these are the physiopathological or pharmacological action of lachesis. Next, we'll move on to nux vomica. This drug also works on the cerebrospinal nervous system. It is an nux vomica is an aphrodisiac when it is given in material doses or physiological doses. Aphrodisiac means the substance which increases the sexual desire. And when come to the cord, it causes the tetanic convulsions. What is tetanus? Tetanus
Prolonged muscle contraction.
contraction will be there and it will be painful. Okay, and this convulsions means the in this the skeletal muscles there will be continuous in contraction and the convulsions will be there. Death from asphyxia. What is asphyxia? Asphyxia is everything is over in physiology. Respiratory system is completed. What is asphyxia? Abnormal breathing when there is decreased supply of oxygen to the body, right? Yes. And exhaustion is there and paralysis. And when comes to the sensory nerve, there is hyperesthesia. Hyperesthesia means there is increased sensibility. Means, for example, if a person is, if two persons we take, one person, if there is some small seed or small insect has come on the hand, there will be like they feel there something is moving on the body. But in case of nux vomica, they'll have hyperesthesia, over sensations. The person is more sensible. That is hyperesthesia. Okay. Next one, pupils are contracted here. Hyperesthesia vision, that is increased. Here's augmented. Augmented means here in nux vomica every sensation is increased more than normal. Okay, ears also okay. There will be increased capacity of hearing. Means for the the sound is same for everyone, but the hearing will be more sensible to this nux vomica person. And circulation, there is vasomotor spasms will be there, increased arterial blood pressure because there are vasomotor spasms. Because of that, there is increased arterial blood pressure. Heart, paralysis of the inhibitory nerve will be there. Stomach, increased appetite. Acid vomitings, gastralgias will be there. And when come to the intestinal chaos, there is constipation and hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids means, yes, piles. Gastralgia, gastralgia means, what is algia in medicine? Means pain. Okay. Amia means deficiency. Okay. Gastralgia means any pain in the stomach. Okay, no specification. Anemia, leukopenia. Enia means deficiency. Okay. And in bladder, there is paralysis of the muscular coat of the urinary bladder. Incontinence of the urinary bladder. What is incontinence? Incontinence. there will be involuntary urination will be there. The person cannot hold. Okay. When it comes to male organs, increased desire will be there with impotence, and female organs, the menses are too soon and lasts long. Means for if there is 28 days circles, 20 days only they'll get the cycle, and flow will be more than 1 week. That is lasts too long. Lungs, there will be dry cough and flatulent asthma. What is flatulence? Flatulence.
Gas accumulated in
Accumulation of gas in the alimentary canal, that is flatulence. And in blood there is oxidation arrested. There is oxidation has completely decreased in blood, and this is about the nux vomica. Next we will move on to another drug, that is allium cepa. Allium cepa is a stimulant, diuretic, expectorant. Means there will be expectoration of the mucus from the throat or lungs. Aphrodisiac. Immunogogue. Immunogogue means the substances which increase or regulate or restore the menstrual flow. Means for example, there is deficiency of the flow or absent flow during the menstrual cycles, then Allium cepa increases the or restores the menstrual flow. Okay, the patient will have a particular symptom. The flow will be for only 1 day or 1 hour. That is a prominent symptom of Allium cepa. Then Allium cepa will restore the menstrual flow. It acts in the mucous membranes of the eyes and nose and produces bland lacrimation and acrid coryza with sneezing. There will be bland lacrimation and acrid coryza. These are also prominent features of Allium cepa. It completely acts on the mucous membranes of upper respiratory tract and eyes. Okay, and in respiration, it causes bland catarrhal inflammation with copious discharge. In veins, there will be inflammation and neuralgia. See here also, algia means pain, pain due to nervous pains, and acts on the stomach and intestines and produces colic. What is colic? What is colic? Any abdominal pain is colic. Okay. It may be due to any organ. Pain in the abdomen is colic. Okay. Next one. Next drug is your cretaceous. Actually, all these drugs will be interesting in materia medica, but in here we have to study only the pharmacological pathophysiological action. Okay. That's why it will be dry. That's why I'm mixing some materia medica symptoms also here. And cretaceous, it produces giddiness, the pulse is lowered, air hunger. Air hunger means, what is air hunger? What is air hunger? Air hunger means want of air. The patient is not able to breathe. In normal condition, in normal room temperature, everyone is able to breathe comfortably, but the patient feels I am not getting enough air. I want some more air. He feels like that. Okay, that is air hunger. Because there is lowered pulse and reduction in blood pressure. That's why the patient feels here air hunger. The oxygen is not enough to the brain. That's why there will more want of oxygen, and this is due to the pulse is decreased and blood pressure is decreased. Because of these two, there is giddiness to the patient, and the blood pressure and low pulse is lowered. That's why there is air hunger. Okay, we have to relate like that. And acts on the muscles of the heart, that we know, because it is acting on the muscles of the heart only. The blood pressure is decreasing, there is air hunger, there is lowered pulse, and there is giddiness. Means the total the drug is revolving around the cardiac muscle only. Okay, myocarditis. What is myocardium? Heart is completed.
Muscle of heart
What
muscle,
is
ma'am.
myocardium? Yeah, covering. So one of the coverings of the heart. The inflammation of the myocardium is called as myocarditis. Wherever itis is present means inflammation. Okay, and failing compensation. Failing compensation means here there is inflammation of the myocardium. The muscles are not acting properly. There is lowered pulse, blood pressure is decreased, there is want of air for the patient, giddiness is present. Now, the heart has to compensate this. Means, for example, some conditions, the size of the heart is slightly increased. Okay, why it is increased means it has to compensate to the uh, want of the oxygen or blood circulation to the person, individual. That's why physiologically there is increase in the size of the heart, means there is compensation. Okay, because it is not able to carry out the functions properly. And here there is no compensation. The heart is a uh, uh, the heart is failing in compensation. Okay, that is failing compensation. Because of that only here the symptoms are there. Okay, for example, what to say, if the person is feeling heavy anxiety, there is palpitations will be there, giddiness will be there, blood pressure increases. Then what happens? For every anxiety you are not going to take the medicine. Now the body tries to regulate the symptoms in regulate all the sensations and the functions in the body, means that it is going to compensate. Here that compensation is failed. Why it is failed? Because there is inflammation in the myocardium. Okay, when the covering of the heart is inflamed, means swelling is there, the heart is not able to increase its size or decrease its size. It has become like stiff inflamed. That's why there is failing compensation in Cretaceous. Okay. Next one is glonine. Sakti? Satya?
Madam,
Yes. Glonine belongs to which kingdom? Glonine becomes means belongs to which kingdom? Uma Maheswari? Uma Maheswari. Glonine belongs to which kingdom? Huh? Suchitra? Which kingdom? Glonine belongs to which kingdom? Anju?
Yes, ma'am. Mineral kingdom, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. Now here this glonine also works through the cerebrospinal nervous system, and this mainly acts on the cerebral blood vessels and medulla oblongata and pneumogastric nerve. That's why as it is acting on the cerebral blood vessels, it produces headache, because there will be congestion will be there, and because of that it produces violent bursting headaches, and the action of the heart and arteries also increased in glonine. And due to that, as there is congestion in the brain and it is acting on the cerebral blood vessels, it causes headache. causes nausea and vomiting. Always remember, any pain which has become beyond the saturation will cause vomiting. Any pain all over any part of the body, if it has come beyond the saturation, then it will cause vomiting. Okay, don't take it as a gastric. Okay, as here it is having the produces violent and severe congestive throbbing bursting headache. That's why it is causing vomiting and nausea. Okay, next one is your hydrastis. And hydrastis acts on the ganglionic system. Till now we have spoke that all the drugs that are acting in the cerebrospinal nervous system. Here hydrastis acts on the ganglionic system. It acts especially on the mucous membranes of the outlets of the body. Whatever the outlets present in the body, on that outlets it works. On the mucous membrane of the outlets. First is your mouth, second is your nose, eyes, throat, rectum, vagina, uterine cervix, urinary organs, and lymphatic glandular system. Whatever the outlets means, there is information of the mucous membrane of the nose will be there, throat will be there, rectum will be there, vagina, cervix, urinary organs, whatever the outlets, it acts on the mucous membranes of them. And through the ganglionic system, it acts on the mucous membranes of the outlets and cause ulcers. Okay, sometimes the patients will come, they'll say ulcers in the mouth, ulcers at the rectum, they'll say there is severe throat pain. When we open the throat, they'll say ulcers in the throat. Okay, all the outlets of the body is having ulcers, then it is an indication for hydrastis. Okay, why this is the reason why you have to study about the pharmacological or pathophysiological action of the drug, because the patient is having here and there ulcers. Why means this drug is acting on the mucous membranes of outlets of the body and acts on the lymphatic glandular system and also causes smallpox. Okay, means here you can ask, without exposing to the smallpox organism, how it is causing higher a smallpox disease. Means if 10 persons are exposed to this smallpox organism, when the person belongs to the hydrastis, he will be affected with smallpox. Okay. Next one is your stannum met. Stannum met, Jagati,
Ma'am.
what is stannum met? What is stannum met, ma? Gloria,
Ma'am.
what is stannum met? What is a common name of stannum met?
Metal.
Huh? What is ferrum met? You tell me. What is ferrum metallicum? What is ferrous oxide?
Acetyl.
What? What is ferrous oxide? What is the word ferrum means?
Iron, ma'am.
Iron. What is stannum? What is stannum? Bhavya, what is stannum?
Tin, madam.
What is stannum metallicum?
Tin. Tin.
Or to which what do you say, to which kingdom it belongs?
Mineral. Mineral kingdom, madam.
Next one. It acts on the nervous system, chest, respiratory organs, throat, stomach, and upper arm. Okay. Always remember sternum works good on the shoulders, shoulder joints. See here there will be extreme weakness will be there, and the weakness will be felt in the chest, throat, and stomach. Sometimes you will have the feeling of there is weakness in the stomach. You specifically you feel I'm having some type of sensation in the stomach, and that is of all gone sensation or weakness in the stomach or weakness in the throat. The patient clearly explain this type of sensation. Then sternum is indicated. And here, wherever the mineral kingdom remedy is there, there will be severe exhaustion or prostration will be there in all the metals almost. Okay, and it acts on the sexual organs, and we have producing the profound debility and neurasthenia. What is neurasthenia? Neurasthenia. Asthenia means,
Nervous deficiency, neural deficiency.
first tell me what is asthenia?
Sensitivity.
Deficiency.
Weakness, physical weakness. You, if it is neurasthenia, the weakness is due to the nerves, physical and mental, both exhaustion will be there. Okay, and acts on the mucous membranes of the lungs, especially bronchioles, produces catarrhal inflammation, mucopurulent expectoration. Purulent means purulent. Purulent means pus. Purulent expectoration means pus like expectoration. Okay, sometimes the patients will say the cough, I have cough with yellowish expectoration, means purulent expectoration. If the expectoration is of white color, it is mucus expectoration, muco. If the patient says there is whitish color and yellowish color expectoration from cough, that is mucopurulent expectoration. Okay. Catarrhal means secretions, increased secretions due to inflammation of the bronchioles. The walls of the bronchioles are inflamed, due to this the secretions are increased. That is catarrhal. And complete exhaustion of the nerves of the lungs will be there. Acts as a vermicide. What is vermicide? Vermicide. Sushma, what is vermicide?
Poisonous to worms.
Kill worms. Okay, the substances which can kill the worms, it is vermicide. Okay, and great value in helminthiasis. Helminth parasites will be there. If the person is having the parasitic infestation, especially belong to the helminth group, then the stannum can be given for the helminthiasis. Okay, and produces the enteralgia. Enteralgia means, algia means,
Pain.
algia, pain.
Intestinal pain, ma'am.
Yes. Enteralgia means the entero, I means intestine. The pain due to from the pain coming from the intestines, enteralgia and constipation. Okay. Adonis will deal tomorrow. Okay. And these are the drugs. Actually, in your textbook, they have given some drugs, but your university portion is different. Okay, I'll send you the list of the university portion, which drugs you have to study about their physiological action. According to that, you can prepare the notes for the drugs which are not present in your textbooks. Okay, okay. Now we'll end this session here. Okay, thank you.